So, this place ain't as bad as I was expecting, meaning your job offer wasn't total bullshit. Nice change of pace, I'll tell you. Just swell. I've had a couple regulars from the quarry hike up here, but for the most part, it's all new clientele with bigger pocketbooks. Really, I can't complain. Well, I can, but nobody wants to hear it, so I'll keep it to myself. Until next time.
Until next time, then.
Prim is a new sheriff. That should keep the powder gangers away.
Oh, hey. I'm Christine. That's not really interesting. My brother and me are both burnout failures that embarrassed our parents until they finally gave us the boot. So, we took work here because they were hiring. Not really classy work, but whatever. If I had some issues selling my ass, I'd just leave. He's behind the bar downstairs, making an ass out of himself. I expect he'll be bartender for life here, since he's allowed to get stoned on his own inventory in lieu of proper payment. Alright, sure. Later.
I believe some gratitude is in order, and I do hope Silas has been compensating you appropriately. This business already seems quite promising, no? We've been making money hand over fist, and while I understand you were working on commission, I feel it wouldn't be untoward to give you a bonus. Consider it a gift from the management. If we pretend the management isn't a cantankerous drunkard with a short temper. I'm sure I have no valuable answers to give, but I'd be happy to chat if you'd like. That's a good observation, not an insult. It would only be an insult if I were some cringing hypocrite ashamed of a past I know to be true. Yes, I did sell my body back then because that was the path that was open to me. I was an orphan teenager with no home and no prospects. I used the money I earned to better myself. I bought myself a home. I traded my services with one man in exchange for lessons in reading and writing. Some of the girls would accept drugs in lieu of payment. I started accepting books and educational holotapes instead. I had ambitions of prosperity and happiness, you see. I'm hardly alone in that regard, but I went ahead and made my dreams a reality, didn't I? That being the case, it strikes me as ridiculous to start cringing at my past and pretending it didn't happen. It did, and I came out on top. As far as I can tell, carving out your own place in the world is as close to winning in life as any of us are ever liable to achieve. Entirely adequate at the moment. We've had exactly as much attention as I expected, and everything seems to be accounted for. Assuming the status quo in the Mojave continues, we should be steadily doing better and better as word of mouth spreads. If the NCR wins out, we may have to put a lid on the Kim sales, but what we lose to taxation will make back up with increased customer traffic. And if the Legion wins, why, I expect that we'll be too busy being brutally tortured and executed to waste much thought towards financial viability. My opinion on... really? Right off the bat, somebody being crass could accurately refer to my profession as one indulging in hedonism and vice. Prostitution, gambling, drugs. My understanding is that these sorts of degenerate behaviors are, in Caesar's opinion, deserving of a torturous execution. Further, while managing the services of my escorts, you'll note that I treat them as human beings and valued employees, not as objects. So, hopefully, you can infer my likely opinion on the Legion's fondness for rape and slavery. I'll give you a hint. It's not positive. But, for the sake of argument, let's assume I'm a sociopath with absolutely no ethical considerations, and I'm only in it for myself. Were that the case, I'd likely find them to be... Oh, wait! I just noticed. I'm a woman. Meaning that, in the Legion's view, I'm not really a person, and my only purpose for existing is to reproduce until my body gives out. So, alas, even if I were a completely self-serving monster with no ethics whatsoever, I'd still be inclined to see the Legion as evil incarnate. So, there's my shocking and divisive opinion on Caesar's Legion. No doubt I'm the only free woman in the Mojave to hold it, surely. Well, I'm an adult, so I don't hate them for levying taxes from their citizens, which does seem to put me above most of the people around here. I don't know. They have their good points and their bad. I suppose it mostly varies depending on the current administration, doesn't it? That being the case, I would be inclined to believe they've reached their moral nadir under the command of that swaggering buffoon, Kimball. I'm just a touch dubious of any sort of saber-rattling jingoistic imperialism disguised as patriotism style of politician, as a general rule. I suppose I ought to be impressed that the man can even see new lands to grab up from so deep within the pockets of industrialists and magnates. I understand that things were better under President Tandy. I suppose, perhaps, a new administration could mean a better NCR. Maybe. But that's how republics go, isn't it? They have their good leaders and their bad, but every bad one brings in a little more rot than the last. The good ones clean up as best they can, but soon enough they're on the out, and another corrupt demagogue is slithering his way back inside. On and on the cycle goes until, inevitably, the rot consumes the foundations of the system and it all collapses in on itself. It happened in Rome, it happened in the United States. It'll come for the NCR too. History is just one great endless cycle, isn't it? Aside from the one you directed our way, yes. There's the new girl that Silas hired on recently. She came as a sort of packaged deal with her brother. The embarrassment serving drinks at the bar downstairs. Those two are actually my only employees at the moment. There is a third worker here offering himself to interested parties, but... well, that's his own side gig. His official position is just security, so he answers to Silas. Suits me fine. I'd rather not deal with him. He seems to be suffering under the delusion that turning everything into a juvenile sexual euphemism is the peak of clever commentary. Ugh. Until next time, then.
Evening. Howdy.
What's up? I'd be happy to. But you know, I just realized. You told me all about yourself, but I don't think I ever got your name. Huh. I never would have guessed. But I like it. Right behind you. I'll get the short end of it, won't I? Just don't treat me like a Brahmin, okay? Back and I aren't exactly in our prime.
Hey there.
Evening.
Some cons got cornered in the ruins of Boulder City, but the NCR let them go. That's unusual.
Well, hello, gorgeous. Oh, you see, poor little Eli wasn't packing enough heat by his lonesome. See, I came calling after I found an ad saying that this place was looking for positions to be filled. Figured I'd be a hot commodity. But Mr. Grebe said that the demand for man-ass wasn't high enough for him to bother buying up a supply. Well, I told him maybe what he really needs is someone that can fire hot loads into naughty customers' faces, direct from a submachine gun. And when there aren't any customers that need to be sent screaming right down to hell, maybe I could make some cash on the side. Mr. Grebe agreed, so long as I pay him a percentage of my earnings. That works for me. You trying to make me cry? I was just another orphan, crawling through the dirt in the slum of New Vegas, back before House decided he didn't like the city being one big dump. I did what I had to do to survive, and when I saw how many of my peers ended up bleeding out in the gutters or fitted with slave collars, well, let's just say I don't regret my choices. Street whoring, robbery, and general thuggery were all fun while they lasted. Oh, I think there actually is, in fact. You see, there was this nasty piece of work in here just the other day. I overheard him say some real naughty things to his friends just over there. They were discussing how they'd love to slip some nice, tight collars onto the necks of every lady working up the stairs. Playing slaves with collars can be a good time, to be sure, but I didn't get the impression that these nice folks meant it in the kinky, fun way. Their ringleader was some fat bastard named Mendoza. They all slipped off north to Freeside before I could slaughter them all like dogs. I suppose the pleasure of cutting them all down, one by one, ending all their wretched lives, will have to be yours. Happy hunting! Aw, I'll miss you ever so much.
The territories are safer now that the cons have disappeared.
Hello. Welcome to the Eagle, my friend. Do you want drugs? Booze? Oh, and there's some whores upstairs. I rode the bar. I'm Edgar. I'm also incredibly high. I sell liquor and chems. The chems are great. Oh, I can definitely recommend those. And there's some whores upstairs, including my sister. Oh, you could plow her all night if you have the money. Oh man, that's just because I'm allowed to get high off my own stock if I take it out of my paycheck, dude. Oh yeah, I'm actually pretty ashamed of her too. But it's not like she could shame our family any better than I can. I mean, I'm a junkie. Check it. Bye-bye.
Finally get a chance to speak when I'm not busy doing 90% of the work on renovating this place. What a pain in the ass. What? Aside from doing like 90% of the work on actually getting this building refurbished, mostly I'm on security detail now. I also do a bit of money lending with customers that don't strike me as scheming turds. Oh, I also convinced Silas not to put a jukebox in here, so you can thank me for that any moment now. We've met, sure. I'll freely admit that I don't really have much experience with the sex trade, so I'll take her at her word that she's competent. Seems to have a decent head on her shoulders, and none of her employees seems to have any complaints, so whatever. What? Don't you have a radio on that goofy wristwatch of yours? There's only 2 or 3 stations, and across the lot of them, there's only a couple dozen songs that they all play, over and over and over. And for some reason, the only tracks that anyone seems to find out there are old copies of Grandpa's sex music. I mean, the nukes dropped in 2077, yeah? So why are all the music tapes from the early 1900s? What the hell? I know of him. He's the bouncer posted closer to the second floor, so in theory, it's his job to deal with the rough customers up there. In practice, seems to me he's too busy making stupid sex puns out of everything he says to do any work. Man, who cares? Fine, I'm from New Canaan, if you believe it. Yeah, I was raised with all that good book religious stuff being drilled into my head. Guess I just felt like being a badass rebel without a cause, so I basically shunned anything and everything they taught me. So cool. Anyway, New Canaan's got this tradition where you hit a certain age, off you go into the wastes to do missionary work, aka brainwashing tribals. Well, I took that to mean I was free, so I skipped the desert preaching and just kept on walking till I hit civilization. Or whatever passes for it. Yeah, I got word. You know, I never met Graham, but everywhere I go, people hear I'm from New Canaan and all their questions are about him. I figured he was just an old ghost story, but no. I guess he was feeling well enough to come home and bring the target on his back with him. Guess I got out at the right time, huh? Hell. Fairly recent state of affairs, that. Basically, he put out a call before he arrived in Prim saying that he needs some whores and some muscle for this saloon venture of his. Well, that first bit isn't my forte, but sure, I figured I could work as a bouncer. Clever bastard left out the bit about literal heavy lifting. Oh well, that bit's done. Now I can sit back, sip my beer, and barely have to do anything. Most folks don't want to cause trouble where a man with a fully loaded .45 SMG has good sight lines on him. You know? Matter of fact, there sure is. So between the casino across the street and our own specialties, there's a demand for full pockets around here. So, I've been enabling that sort of debauchery at a profit by doing a bit of money lending on the side. I've got a few people that have gotten the bright idea in their heads to take the cash and run. Too bad for them, that's a tired old play. Nah, I went ahead and added some little tracking beacons inside the money cases I've lent out. Won't be too hard to track them down this way. But I've got duties here, keeping troublemakers from doing anything stupid, so if you could hunt down my missing loans, that'd be real nice. Get them all back, and I'll throw some cash your way. As your fee, not as a loan. And there's another bonus in it for us all. There's a ghoul that wants to open up a little arms business here in Prim. Problem is, he lacks the capital to get it started on his own. And I lack the capital to spot him. At least right now, with 3 substantial debtors going AWOL on me. So, get me my money back and everyone wins. Shouldn't be too hard, especially with the first case being fairly close. Beacon says it's along the road leading to Nipton from Prim and the Mojave outpost. Good luck.
Hey. Have you seen that tower on the strip all lit up? You can see it for miles. I hear the Great Khans just packed up and left Red Rock Canyon. Always thought the NCR and them would fight it out again.
Hey there.
What? Prim! I ain't never been to Prim, asshole. Get your goddamn facts straight. Or, you know what? Fuck it. Stay ignorant and uninformed for all I care. I'm tired of looking at you.
That takes care of that. That takes care of that. Hey.
Hello again. Yeah? Great, that's one down, two to go. Keep up the good work. The next one? Huh. Yeah, this guy might not have ripped me off. He might have just gotten killed before he could pay me back. Beacon says the money is in Searchlight, and Searchlight, well, I'm sure you know what a death trap that place is. Stock up on radiation supplies before heading out, I guess. Unless you don't want to, of course. Your choice. Good luck.
The honcho of one of them strip families got killed right.
Oh, well, look who's back. Looking for something to do? Oh, yes. I'm so thrilled to hear that. I really am. Did he scream? Maybe beg a little bit? Ooh, were there any tears? I'm just having a blast here thinking about how things played out. Well, I suppose I ought to reward you for your services. Here you go. You can spend that reward right here with me. 5 times over. Oh, all right. You caught me. I give up. I was a street orphan way back in the day. All of us growing up back then knew to go to ground when Mendoza rolled through town. He made a habit of rounding us street kids up and selling us to passing slave traders. Some of them were the closest thing to family I ever had. When I heard he was back in town, well, I couldn't just walk out on my job and exact bloody vengeance, but you presented me with an opportunity. So, maybe he wasn't really planning to enslave anyone working here, I concede. But he was a slaver cunt, and he deserved to die screaming. And now that it's done, I feel all warm and fuzzy inside. Let me know if you ever want me to spread that feeling around. Yeah, and what's your point precisely? What, you think that by virtue of me directing you to kill the man, I'd also be inclined to know how to open any random door he hung out by? Afraid not. I was never much of a breaking and entering type of guy. I prefer opening legs, not rusty old doors. I suppose, speaking from experience, the dirt-smeared street urchins and gutter rats tend to be experts at getting into places they aren't wanted. Why don't you see if you can find anyone like that in Freeside and see if you can work out a deal if you care that much?
Fight in his own casino. You know he pissed off the wrong guy.
Hey.
stealing from a church? Too bad for you. Son of a bitch.
Hey! That takes care of that.
I hear the Great Khan's just packed up and left Red Rock Canyon. Always thought the NCR and...
Hello again. Nice work. I'll take that back. Maybe pop some iodine before I crack open the case this time. Anyway, thanks. That only leaves one case left, and this one is annoyingly distant. Just about as southeast as you can get. Looks like it's somewhere on the banks of the Colorado. I know lake lurks nest up in that region, so lock and load, I guess. Up to you. Just be careful. Those things will eat your ass alive if you let them. Good luck. Ugh, get out.
Them would fight it out again.
I keep hearing about some courier making a fuss over it. The strip must have delivered more than just mail. Hey there.
Hello again. Well, hey, there we go. That should be the last of them, so looks like you're done. Good work. Glad I sprang for waterproof cases, otherwise I'm not sure the tracking beacon for this one would have worked. Anyway, seems to me I promised to pay you for the return of all my money, so, by my reckoning, this is yours. Also, that ghoul I mentioned earlier should be done setting up his kiosk. Hit him up if you need some ordnance. Thanks for the help. Until next time. Oh, Christ. This guy's back. I've booted him out like 3 times now.
Have you seen that tower on the strip all lit up? You can see it for miles.
The Enclave only wanted to kill literally everyone in the wasteland that isn't one of them. How dare you, dirty commies, say they're evil?
Hey. The territories
The Legion are pussies that don't go far enough. We shouldn't just crucify degenerates. We should crucify everyone with the wrong opinions.
Have you seen that tower on the strip all lit up? You can see it for miles.
The Legion are pussies that don't go far enough. We shouldn't just crucify degenerates. We should crucify everyone with the wrong opinions.
Those cons got the hint. We've shown everyone that these are our new territories.
Evening.
Hey.
Come on!
Target Silas.
What the hell do you want? Don't see how that's your business, stranger. Fine. I'm Danielle. The rest, don't you worry about. I look after them. You got that? And before you ask, no, we aren't going to pickpocket some mark for you, or anything like that. And none of us are offering a good time, neither. And last little bit, if you're looking for some poor little urchins to collar, I'll put a bullet in your skull. You wouldn't be my first. The hell do you think? We just like hanging out in some dark alley by the dumpsters? Some of our parents are dead and gone. Others got themselves separated and never hooked back up. And some just didn't want us no more. Now we got nobody but each other, so I guess we're all alone here together. At least we live in the goddamn wasteland paradise of New Vegas. You know, I wish I could tell you to piss off because I don't know every damn alleyway in this horrible slum, but I probably do. As for help, depends on what's in it for us. So, which door is this anyway? Whoa, that's a bad place, okay? I don't think nobody uses it no more, but they used to. They'd take people in, and a lot of times those folks never come back out. Any of us with sense keep away from that place. The hell you want in there for, anyway? Killed a slave? Really? Well, okay then. I suppose I might be willing to help you. If you help us first. Nothing's ever free in Freeside. We're not stupid. We can scrape some cash together, do what we gotta do to keep ourselves fed and in water. There's one thing, though, we can't get. But you could. No problem. So, here's the deal, and I ain't haggling. You get me a dozen bottles of whiskey, I get you in that building. Did you not hear me when I said I'm not haggling? That's okay. I'll repeat it for you. I am not haggling. You want in that stupid door, I can get you in. You want me to get you in, you give me what I want. That's the only deal there is. Why does anyone want that much whiskey, you think? Yeah, well, so does abandoning us here to beg and starve on the streets, where we have to fend off thieves and rapers and worse just to survive. So, unless you'd like to buy us all a nice place to live, with plenty of food and water and education, why don't you jam your sanctimony up your ass? Well, alright then.
Hey, anything going on? Yeah? What do you want?
What's up?
Hello.
Bye. What's up?
What is it? That's what I like to hear. Let's take a little test, huh? Huh. Kinda expected you to hand over a dozen bottles of piss or something. Well, you held up your end of the deal, so I sent one of my guys to unlock that door for you. Let me know if you find anything in there, 'cause I'm keeping my people the hell away.
Hey, anything going on?
Hi there. See ya.
If you say so.
Okay. So don't forget to come back for me. Right behind you.
Roger that.
Are you okay?
What is it? I hate goddamn slavers. Most of them left Vegas after House took over, you know, besides the ones he hired. When I was real little, we always heard scary stories about the slave rackets the Omertas ran, back when they were called Slitherkin. Of course, these ones went running before anyone could hunt them down. I like to think I'd kill them myself, but probably just tell the kings. And they had some hostages still, huh? Do you know who they worked for? Oh, that place. That bouncer they've got probably has the biggest gun in the district. Not a day goes by I don't hear him unloading into some thug. Well, I won't be sad to hear that he's gone, but... Long gone, you said? That I don't like as much. Means his goons probably scattered every direction. But... I need you to try and track them down. For their captives, if nothing else. Please. We have to try and save them. I don't know anything about running the wastes. Don't know nobody that does. Just you. So, please. Okay, good. If he was moving slaves, he'd probably want to avoid most kinds of authorities. Kings, NCR, whatever else. And he's alone, except for his captives. So, assuming he's not a complete moron, he'd probably want to sell them off as soon as he can. So, Legion then. Wherever the closest Legion encampment is, that'd be my guess. You know the wasteland better than I do. You'd probably have a better idea of where that'd be. Legion of slave traders? The hell is wrong with these people? World just can't stop giving me things to hate, huh? I'm just another starveling huddled in some dirty slum back alleyway. I've probably had more hate than food in my life. Sometimes the kings or the followers can spare a few caps for us, but only if we're lucky. Everyone's just looking out for them and theirs. The whole time we get to cower behind houses, big trash barricades, hearing all the music and rich asshole parties on the other side, every day. But we don't get in. We're just filthy poors. But hey, at least now we get a steady stream of tourists from the wealthy NCR traipsing on through. They're here to win big in Vegas and go home rich. You know what we get from them? Sometimes they spit in our faces if we bother them too much. And the ones who can't afford to get on the strip? No problem. They can just squat here in our slum and push us out to die in the desert. So pardon me for being dramatic, stranger, but hate is all I've got. Hate and these little kids who are too young to fend for themselves. Maybe later. I've got some ideas. Right now, I just want you to try and help save those captives and kill that slaver asshole. All right then.